The disappearances. In 2005, families in a densely populated urban village began reporting the sudden and unexplained disappearance of their children. Nithari, a poor settlement bordering a wealthy neighborhood in Noida, had long been a place where children played in narrow alleys and women worked as domestic helpers in nearby villas. But that year, parents began noticing something sinister. Children were vanishing, one by one. A young girl, last seen playing outside her home, disappeared without a trace. A boy heading to buy groceries never returned. The families went to the local police, begging them to investigate. But time and time again, their pleas were ignored. The authorities brushed the cases aside, labeling the missing children as runaways or victims of human trafficking. As weeks turned into months, the disappearances continued. Whispers of foul play spread among the villagers, but no one could imagine just how horrifying the truth would be. The Search for Answers. By late 2006, after more than a dozen children and young women had gone missing, the desperate families banded together. They conducted their own search and uncovered a chilling lead. Many of the children were last seen near D5, a sprawling bungalow owned by a wealthy businessman named 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥. The families claimed they had heard strange noises, cries, and screams coming from the house at night. Others said they'd seen 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥's servant, 𝘢𝘥𝘷𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥 behaving suspiciously near the property. But when the police were informed, they dismissed these claims as baseless rumors. Frustrated but determined, the families refused to back down. They staged protests, blocked roads, and demanded action. Under mounting pressure, the police finally raided D5 on December 29, 2006. The nightmare unveiled. What the authorities found at D5 shocked the nation. In the backyard of the bungalow, buried beneath piles of garbage, were bones, skulls, and dismembered body parts. Forensic analysis would later reveal that the remains belonged to at least 19 victims, most of them children. Inside the house, investigators discovered tools used to dismember bodies, along with bloodstains and other evidence of horrific crimes. But the most disturbing revelation came during the interrogation of 𝘢𝘥𝘴𝘦𝘥, 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥's domestic help. Killings confessed to luring children into the house under the guise of offering food or money. Once inside, he strangled them, dismembered their bodies, and, in some cases, cooked and ate their flesh. His reasoning? He claimed to be driven by a dark compulsion, an uncontrollable urge that consumed him whenever he saw vulnerable children. 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥 denied any involvement, claiming ignorance of Killings' actions. However, several families accused him of participating in the crimes, and witnesses reported seeing him at the house during the disappearances. The aftermath. The revelations sparked outrage across India. The case exposed deep systemic failures, from police negligence to the mistreatment of the poor, whose voices had been ignored for far too long. People demanded justice, not just for the victims, but also for the families who had been silenced. In 2009, 𝘢𝘥𝘴𝘦𝘥 was convicted and sentenced to death for his crimes. 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥 was also sentenced to death, but later acquitted in some cases due to lack of evidence, a decision that enraged the public. Despite the convictions, many questions remain unanswered. Some believe the true number of victims far exceeds the official count. Others argue that 𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘦𝘥's role in the killings was deliberately downplayed due to his wealth and influence. The unforgettable name. The bungalow at D5 still stands in eerie silence, its walls bearing witness to the unspeakable horrors that unfolded within. Locals call it the House of Horrors, and many believe it is cursed. Even today, people report hearing faint cries and whispers near the abandoned property. This wasn't just a crime. It was a tragedy that shook the conscience of an entire nation. And while the victims' families still wait for closure, one thing is certain: the story of the Nithari Killings will forever haunt India.